Light doesn't work. Let's see. I can't see anything here.
In a simple minute's time, on the edge of 10 thin dimes, I took a little walk down Doyle's Ford Road. And before the night was gone, I met a desperate little zombie from a violent.
What's up, guys? Gilbert back here with another video. Back here with the interview series with my man KK Reaper.
Hey, how's it going?
So, how you doing today?
Doing pretty good. I was enjoying getting all set up, putting on my makeup and stuff just for you.
Yeah. So, KK Reaper is a really cool guy. He used to work in the Haunted Manor a few years back. So, can you show me what's your favorite memory?
My favorite memory of the haunted house. That's tough. I I worked there for 8 years, so there was a lot of stuff that went on. I'm trying to think. Probably one of my favorite scares was probably one of those favorite moments. I've made 3 women, older women that were coming down the hallway. I shook the cage in the dark hallway, and all 3 of them just collapsed. They all just fell down simultaneously.
Wow.
That's one of my favorites. But yeah, like I said, over 8 years, there's so many.
Yeah. So getting into the music, what's your favorite song that you ever made?
So from my solo career, I would probably say Songs of Serenity, because that meant the most to me. That was like the most personable I've ever been in writing music and stuff. It was discussing the struggles with depression and alcohol and things of that nature. And it's kind of different from what I usually do. It's very light and very soft, all acoustic and stuff like that. Usually I'm very more hard rock kind of guy. But because that song is so sentimental and because it meant so much to me about like persevering through the struggles of life and things like that, I would have to say out of my solo career so far, that's probably my favorite.
Yeah. And Dead Man Walking. So what's the story behind that?
So Dead Man Walking was actually a song written by my uncle back in the 90s with his band. And they had recorded a demo tape of 3 Halloween songs, and one of them was Dead Man Walking. And I loved it so much, and since it wasn't ever released on any digital platforms or anything like that, I asked him, can I take that song and make it my own? And so actually on that song is me on vocals. My cousin Fred does some backup vocals. My cousin Gerard does the drums, and then my uncle Gerard is on guitar again. So it was like a family effort. But the story behind that was basically just that our family comes from Ireland. And so when he says Under the Irish Moon and stuff, it was a trip that he had taken down Doyle's Fort Road. And he just wrote about his experience in Ireland through like the eyes of like a Halloween-y type setting, with zombies and ghosts and fairies, all the folklore,
Yeah. And so I can see your makeup. It looks awesome, by the way.
Thank you.
So, into a makeup artist?
Yeah. Yep. I probably started around the same time that I started the Haunted Manor. It was a requirement of the haunted house that you had to know how to do your own makeup because we didn't have a makeup artist on hand. And throughout the years, like you can see, if you ever see pictures of me when I first started out, it's basically just like white makeup with like a little bit of fake blood. And then it turned into all these things with the liquid latex hanging off and all these crazy ideas that I experimented with. And then through the years, when I became manager of the haunted house, I also became basically like the in-house makeup artist for them. And I did all the actors and actresses' makeups before they went out and scared people.
All right, and I just have a few more questions. So, like, tell me like the life of like how did you get into like rock and roll and like horror?
So as far as the horror is concerned, how I got into that was I was, as a young kid, afraid of my own shadow. Like I could never go into a haunted house, couldn't watch a horror movie. Like if you turned something on, I would look away immediately because I was a good little boy. And so, you know, stuff like that always freaked me out. And then I was probably 12 or 13 years old at my dad's house, sitting on the couch watching like Saturday morning cartoons or whatever. And I'm flipping through the channels and Friday the 13th Part 3 is on the DVR. He must have like pre-recorded it or something. And so I was like, all right, you know what? I'm going to man up and just watch this. And so I start watching it and it's so good, but so goofy because it was like, like 1983. So the effects are not where they are now, but there is something so charming about the fact that they were all practical effects and they were all like, it was so over the top, like blood going everywhere and stuff. And so from that point on, I got so interested in them. I started watching more and more horror films. I was like, you know, this is what I want to do. And so I asked my parents to buy me a camera for Christmas, and the rest is history. I just ran with it, and I took all my friends. I was like, come on, I'm going to cover you in fake blood. Let's make a horror film. And we just kept going like that. As for the rock and roll aspect, I started off with, again, you know, like when I was young, my dad was a guitarist in a Zeppelin tribute band. So I started off with a lot of like Zeppelin, the Beatles, you know, a lot of classic rock stuff, and slowly made my way into like Black Sabbath, which went a little bit heavier. Then I found like Metallica, Disturbed, My Chemical Romance and stuff. So I started veering off into different directions. My friends were showing me things that they had found. You know, me in middle school, like System of a Down was a big band for all like my group of friends. And it was kind of like I think it was the teenage rebellion in me that made me want to be like, yeah, like this is also something I really want to go after. Like I would love to be able to get on stage and shock people and put on these crazy concerts. And of course, like Alice Cooper ended up being my number one. Like Alice Cooper is my hero as far as like what I aspire to be in a musician.
All right, and do you have any like events coming up or like social media and stuff you want to promote?
So my band and I are working feverishly to work on a production with the new songs, new theatrics, and all that. Once the pandemic is a little bit clearer, we can start looking at doing live shows. But for now, all I have to promote really is my debut album coming out sometime in June, A New Era, with 16 songs being released digitally and 4 bonus tracks only being released on the physical copies. That's your incentive to buy the CD. And if you want to check out any of my other previous work, you can check out kkreaper.com, and all my discography and filmography is on there.
And there will be a link in the description to find all that stuff. So yeah, thanks so much for coming on today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Yes, no problem. And I'll see you guys in the next video.
There's a dead man walking me home tonight. There's a dead man walking me home tonight.